Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lightroom Session. Today, we're heading to one of the most breathtaking places I've ever photographed, the sunny Antelope Canyon. It's famous for its colorful hills and wave-like sandstone formations that almost look like fabric. The raw files I'm about to show you are ones I actually never shared before. They've been sitting in my archive for years because of one big problem: the noise. But today, we are on a mission to bring them back to life. Let's see if we can pull that off. Stick around, the transformation might surprise you. Antelope Canyon is located in the desert of Page, Arizona. It's a protected area that can only be accessed by joining a local tour. From the outside, you're welcomed by the harsh sunlight, but as soon as you step inside, it becomes quite dark. Managing the exposure was a huge challenge, because groups move quickly, often allow only a minute per spot. There's no opportunity to use tripod or perform bracket exposures. With my 16-35mm f4, I have to increase the ISO to 6400, and even then, everything was 2 stops under. If I were to do this again, I'll book a dedicated photography tour that allows tripod and bring a fast prime lens. Let's open one of them in Lightroom and see what's salvageable. The first photo we added today has a fairly balanced exposure, good range between highlights, midtones, and shadows. First, let's increase the shadows and blacks. Decrease the highlights. Use the color temperature slider to make it warmer. If we want it to look even more saturated, we can add a touch of purple. Enhance the texture to bring out the details. So far so good. But as soon as we zoom in, the noise becomes obvious. Even after applying Lightroom Denoise, that's when I realized Lightroom alone wasn't enough. There must be a better way. We are taking a little detour. This is where PureRAW comes in. A tool that processes raw files to the highest possible quality before they even reach Lightroom. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting much. These photos were taken in 2018 on an older camera body. But once I import the clean files back to Lightroom, the results blew me away. To stress test it, I pushed the shadows to 100 and lift the tone curve dramatically just to see what would happen. Normally, this much lifting reveals the noise, but here, it's gone once and for all. It's hard to believe this image started at ISO 6400. I decided to dig deeper. I tested 10 different areas at various tonal ranges to compare PureRAW head-to-head with Lightroom's Denoise. On the left, you'll see PureRAW's clean version. On the right is Lightroom. We are going to zoom all the way from 400% down to 100 so you can see the full picture. PureRAW absolutely dominates on the noise reduction. That's a solid 10 out of 10. The edges are sharper. The texture is more refined. But here's what really got me. PureRAW recovers the details that Lightroom completely missed. It makes you wonder how much hidden details is sitting in your raw files that most Denoise tools just can't unlock. For the longest time, high ISO had a bad reputation, but I'm here to tell you that things have changed. High ISO photos are absolutely usable. You just need the right tool. Here's the thing, your old raw files deserve a second chance. By going through your archive, you can potentially reclaim gigabytes of hard drive space. A perfect example, this 42 megapixel photo was originally 50 megabytes. After processing, it's now 26 megabytes. That's nearly 50% smaller. I'll break down exactly how that works in just a moment. Now that the raw file is cleaned, let's move into the edit. The second photo I select is super underexposed. Let's raise the shadows to 100. I'll use the tone curve as a secondary adjustment tool to fine-tune the midtones. I'll decrease the highlights to bring out more of the orange tones. I prefer to use tone curve for the fine-tuning because it's not limited by the preset sliders. With the curve, you have more control, though you need to be careful and patient with it. Let me zoom in so you can see the details. Notice there's no noise in the shadows. The image looks slightly oversaturated. Well, I think we'll leave it as it is. Up until this point, we've just been using the basic adjustments and curves. I want to bring you the best value possible. So for this photo, I'm going to edit 2 different versions using masking. Here's what I see. The sky is unrecoverable, but I'm okay with that. The main focus is the curvy flow from the bottom to the top. I'm going to use old school dodge and burn technique to make those edges more prominent. First mask. I'm going to paint over this area. The green overlay shows you exactly what's being affected. You can always refine your mask by picking up the eraser and painting over the image. I'll drop the exposure and highlights. Notice how the colors deepen and become more saturated. Let's name this mask Burn, which means darkening it. Second mask, we'll call this Dodge, meaning to lighten it. Double-click on the sliders to reset them. This avoids inheriting settings from your last mask. I'll use a smaller brush to carefully paint over the edges of the rocks. I'm increasing the exposure and lifting the highlights. This adds structure and gives the image more dimension. Keep an eye on the flow and density sliders. Flow is the speed of the brush. Density is like setting a limit. If you want the effect to be concrete and effective, use high flow and high density. If you want it to be softer, go with low flow and low density. Usually I mix both to create more natural shape. If the effect isn't prominent enough, you can crank up the amount slider. For the colors, we have 2 ways to go. Version 1 will adjust the temperature and tint, similar to the previous edit. Version 2 will use the color grading tool. I'll go into the highlights and add orange. Am I the only one who thinks this looks like a moon shape? Next, we use a radial gradient mask and invert it. After adjusting the feather, I reset the sliders. Go to the RGB curves green channel and pull it to the right to add magenta. I just wanted to show you there are many ways to approach and edit. And I will let you decide which one is better. Now you probably want to know how I got the file size down so much. That's coming up next. Let me walk you through how the software works. You can run PureRAW as a standalone app. For batch processing, just drag and drop your raw files into the interface. It will input and detect which lens you used, then apply the optical corrections. If you choose Process with Preview, you'll get a before and after comparison window. On the side, you have a bunch of options. I didn't tweak anything for this test. The default settings work pretty well. If you skip the preview, a smaller window will pop up. The layout is intuitive. Your custom settings are at the top and the output options at the bottom. You can also access directly from Lightroom. Go to File, plug in Extra. Process instantly with DxO PureRAW. The same setting panel will appear. You don't need to worry about a messy catalog. The process files are saved to a collection folder and stay very well organized. Here's where the magic happens. In the output settings, there is a new option, High Fidelity Compression. By using this compression, how much space can we free up on the hard drive? Take this folder for instance, 58 raw files, original size 2.5 GB. After compression, 1.4 GB. The folder size reduced by about 40%. Let's do the math. A 1 TB drive can hold about 20,000 photos at 50 MB each. With PureRAW compression, those same files drop to about 30 MB each, and you can fit roughly 33,333 photos on the same drive. If you take around 1,000 photos per session, that's about 10 extra sessions on the same drive. If you take 500 photos per session, you gain 20 extra sessions. Well, turns out you don't have to delete files, especially if you keep multiple backups for your work gig. This is a total game changer. One last question you're probably asking, will this extra step slow down my workflow? I had the same concern. To find out, I test the processing time of a single file side by side against Lightroom. Keep in mind DxO PureRAW handles 3 things: noise reduction, lens correction, and compression at once. And guess what? It actually runs faster than Lightroom Denoise alone. As I'm editing this video, I've noticed the price of hard drives are going up rapidly. We're all facing the same problem. At the end of the day, we can either keep buying more storage, or we can let this software handle the heavy lifting. This is honestly the tool every photographer needs. You'll find the link and a special discount code in the pinned comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.